I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. Not the Will Smith movie, but if you're looking for a movie review, that's kind of dumb. These are book reviews. Isaac Asimov wrote this book called I, Robot, and when he wrote it, it wasn't really a book. It was more like a bunch of short stories that he stitched together, and it's like, oh, that'll make up more than 50,000 words, so I can publish this and sell it. Regardless of that, I, Robot is a very compelling story. For a little bit more context, the Will Smith movie has nothing to do with this book besides the 3 laws of robotics, which I'm not going to get into here, or the Zenith Law, which goes into further parts of the series of Isaac Asimov. Isaac Asimov wrote a lot. All of his stuff is seemingly connected. It seems to have a common occurrence of technology. There are characters, few sparse in between, that are mentioned and do pop up within the realms of the book. But today we're just going to talk about I, Robot. Most of the story takes place between the 1960s and the 2070s of this fictional world. I may be a little off in my years there, but it would only be because there are a lot of characters in iRobot. iRobot more deals with the fantasized psychology of how robots would actually interact and communicate with humans if they were as advanced as some people believe they should be in this time and age. To get on with it, the story spans multiple years, talks about a lot of people. It's definitely sci-fi fantasy, because science fiction just kind of takes in terms like pushing the boundaries of science, but the fantasy comes with the psychology of alternate intelligence. And it's a very forward-thinking book, and it's kind of surprising that it hasn't exactly been adapted. It has been in sparse, few in-between moments. Like, I feel like British television has done a lot more justice to Isaac Asimov than any Americans ever could. The story is just so expansive and huge. To even take a singular character out of the book and pretend as if that's the protagonist, that would just be laughable. There are multiple conflicts that Isaac Asimov must have thought about for days or on end to actually come up with these entanglements of robot culture and human culture. It's crazy. The POV of characters can switch between, it's mostly human because robots can't feel. But then the book makes you question if they can, and if they were this advanced, should they? The writing is really out there, you know. Isaac Asimov was a mechanical engineer. His mind is far beyond a lot of ours. And I read a book by Chris Ferry. I don't fancy myself a smart, intellectual thinking person. I'm not exactly the most mathematical guy that you've ever met. If you like sci-fi, iRobot would be a great first step. I really liked iRobot. The whole way going through it, I felt this is like a really cool and expansive world that a lot of people could fall in love with and just keep reading on for, because there's a lot that goes on. A lot of political intrigue, sociological intrigue, environmental intrigue, even, that goes so far past the point of asking if they dream of electric sheep. I guess for this review, I would also like to mention the short story I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, as well as another short story by Isaac Asimov, The Last Question, and exactly my take on the genre of sci-fi and how I feel about it. Because I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, it's a horror story. It's also like millions of years in the future, so far in the future that you can't even really conceptualize it. And the conflict, well, it's worthless, I feel. The conflict in I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream is worthless because it has to be a horror. The characters are sad. The settings are abysmal and terrifying. And the writing is still good. Then there's The Last Question, where it's another story by Isaac Asimov that spans millions of years, has dozens of characters, dozens of conflicts, expansive settings that are just fantastic to imagine. And the writing is still top notch. I feel like the difference between these three pieces of science fiction, and I think I want to even throw Mary Shelley's Frankenstein just for a quick comparison, not for a full review. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein deserves a full review. Whereas Mary Shelley's Frankenstein has a full story, the characters are all, like everybody's fucked up, sure, but also they're all going through their own thing and nobody deserves to die. And when they do, you feel something. In I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, when the characters die, I felt nothing. Because, I mean, death is the only option that seems suitable. I mean, for a horror, it's pretty horrifying, and it works on that end. Last Question feels hopeful. I, Robot feels hopeful for the future. I think the purest element of fantasy is to fantasize. We fantasize about what would happen if a man was literally made from men, and how that man made from men would react to the world around them, and how they would adjust to settings and things and people. If I'm rating I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, I'm gonna have to give it a nah, because, you know, I just can't go through that kind of thing again. It's just kind of dour and bleak. If I were to rate The Last Question, I would give that it's pretty good. It's a pretty good book, because it's like max 10 pages. Wouldn't even take you like an hour, even if you really hate reading, an hour and a half to read The Last Question, and to really like fantasize and think about and conceptualize the ideas of sci-fi and fantasy and fiction itself, but also the storytelling method of it. iRobot made me feel like a robot. Like I could think in these terms as well. I related to the robot. AI doesn't exist. What we call AI right now is actually like learning modules that learn off of what other people say and do, and just copy that and code it. This AI in iRobot is alternative intelligence. Isaac Asimov questioned the ethics of alternative intelligence. True alternative intelligence, not like made up bullcrap that people use to get fake girlfriends. I think the theme is the humanity and the soul within the toys we make for ourselves. It's a really deep book. Surprisingly, when it's all about robots and people that work with robots. How deep can you get with a Tin Man? But you could get pretty damn deep. If I'm rating iRobot, I'm going to say it's a pretty damn good book. It's a pretty good book. It's a pretty good book. What you want me to say? It's a pretty good book. I liked it. Me reading iRobot, it took a lot out of me. It was a really good book. I really liked iRobot. If you like Isaac Asimov or sci-fi and you like reading about it, I would say you should read it yourself.
Yeah.